Hi, welcome to part 7. We will look at some more questions. Please subscribe, become a cloud kernel member. It has lots of questions. So, you are deploying an application to App Engine. You want the number of instances to scale based on request rate. If request rate is high, you want to put more instances like this. Suppose three instances. If request rate is low, then you just want to put one instance. Imagine hypothetical case. So you need at least three unoccupied instances all the time. That means day one, if there is no load, still three should be running. If there are more loads, then maybe four, five, six is required, but at any point in time, minimum three should be running. So the breakup of the requirement, you are deploying the application to Google App Engine first, and you need auto scaling, and you need at least three unoccupied instances all the time. See, usually for kids at home, you see, ideally they need both the parents. They need dad and mom, both the parents. But if dad works and is outside, they want mom at least. Okay, it cannot be that both dad and mom are outside. They need mom at least. Can they want dad at least? No, it is always reverse. And they will always miss mom. This is about kids. Now, there are few people who would want to ignore this dynamics and say, no, why can't women go outside and blah, blah, blah. Why can't dad take care? Till when this will continue, etc. But this is the way nature is built. This is not something which everything man didn't build. Nature is operating that way. So you cannot blame man for everything. First option, manual scaling with three instances. This does not meet the scaling. Why? See, first of all, we want auto scaling. The question is clearly saying we want auto scaling. So if you want something to happen automatically, why are you giving me an option about manual stuff? I don't like it. I will not take this option. Okay, so second option is saying, buddy, let's take basic scaling. See, what is the problem with basic scaling? What is the problem? See, the problem is it is not scaling based on request rate. Okay, it is not scaling based on request rate. It is purely designed if you have a requirement for sudden traffic spikes, then use it. But based on request rate, it does not work that way. So it will not meet the continuous idle instance requirement. Same with option C. It is again telling I will use basic scaling with maximum instance set to 3. 3 at any point, 3 should be minimum idle. It is not maximum idle. So this will not work because of both of these scenarios. Basic is not meant for uh, based on request rate auto scaling. It does not work for that scenario. And max instance cannot be just 3. Okay, so we want automatic scaling. This option will work because first it is telling to use automatic scaling. Second, it is making use of minimum idle instance to 3. So at any point, 3 instance minimum will be idle. So automatic scaling, the advantage is it scales based on request rate. That is your need. Basic scaling does not scale on request rate, but automatic scaling scales on request rate. That is what your question is saying. Now you might say where the question is saying it. You see this scale based on request rate. This is clearly what question is asking. See, in the office, you see there are some people who will only work properly if you whip their ass. Otherwise, they will be mostly idle, googling, watching TikTok or watching reels, etc. Now, this is like you give them more request rate, then they will work more. Otherwise, they will. It's like support team, the work in support team, the work intake is not always consistent. Sometimes there is more work, sometimes there is less work. Okay, so the team works faster if the request rate is high. That means more tickets to solve. If the number of tickets is less to solve, then you don't need so many instances, so many people and those things. So the people can work on development activities or change requests and so on. That is how usually IT support works. Okay. So this option is directly addressing the requirements of request rate scaling, and it maintains minimum number of idle instances. So our answer in this case is option D, automatic scaling with minimum idle instance set to 3. This is the next question. So you have a development project. Okay, like you are if you are working for TCS Infosys, they get some development project, and then they define IAM roles, that who will have pure development access, who will have read access, who will have write access. So now, so imagine they are creating a production project and they want to have same IAM rules on the new project using few possible steps. That means there is an element of inheritance. So let us break up the requirement. You have defined appropriate roles in the development project. You want to replicate the same role in production. In development, you have some roles. So this is your dev environment. This is your prod environment. You created the roles in dev once. Same thing you take it here, the roles. Okay. You don't want to manually again configure. And you want to do it. Basically, you want to apply or copy the roles and apply it in production, but with minimum steps. This is common in development projects. We usually do that. Okay, option A, this looks correct. What they are suggesting is you use G Cloud IAM roles copy. Okay, so this is designed to copy IAM roles between projects. This is perfect. And when you are copying, you specify production project as destination, because see, when you are copying, you want to give source from where are you copying. You want to give destination from to where you are. What is your target? So source is dev. This is your S means source. Prod is your destination. D or target. So cons we cannot see much with this. It should be perfect. So this option directly addresses the requirements with fewer steps. But then why do you trust me? Let us scan other options also. See, the next one is the problem here is the first thing they are telling, I will use G Cloud IAM role copy. The problem is not here. This is perfect. But if, what is your destination here? You are telling I will put a specify organization as my destination. See, if you specify organization, so under organization, this is your organization. Okay, you have dev, test, prod environment. Now, this is your organization. When you say I will propagate IAM roles to organization, that means you are making setting it up for dev, test, and prod. All environments will have the same IAM rules. But what did you want? Only from dev you wanted to copy the roles to prod. You had no requirement for test environment or any other environment. But what has this done? It has accidentally put everything in all environments. So this is the scope. The scope of copy is wrong in this case. You should not be, the destination scope is just production, not the entire organization. It is like suppose you are working for a IT company and you are copying a file. You are copying a file to John's folder, John's AWS S3 bucket, for example. But you copy it to a central location where everybody has access. But that is was not the need. So you imagine now, if you do it, it is not meeting the requirement. Now you might say, hey, it met the requirement. No, because production still can have the same IAM rules. Yes, boss, it met the requirement, but somebody else also met the requirement when they didn't have that requirement, like test environment. Okay, option C, they are telling I will use console. I will create a role. See, you will use a console and create role from role functionality. We want you to not do this manual work. This is a manual process. We want to do this in fewer steps, but you are following the step which will, or the process with maximum steps because this is manual. So this is not good. Okay, option D, again they are making use of manual step. They will create role functionality and select all application. So this is the highest manual and error prone step, not fewer steps. This will not work because when we are clearly telling you, boss, use automation, do something which saves time. So this option is suggesting, boss, I am an asshole. I will use the maximum steps option. Okay. In the organization also you have such idiots. And then they will debate for 30 minutes to prove their point, what was driving their thought process. Okay, so our final option is option A. G Cloud IAM roles copy, specify the production project as destination. Simple, you understood the concept. We are going very detailed. So that any layman can also understand what we are trying to explain. Okay. But if you are still not able to understand, there is a product called Complan. Start drinking this. Maybe you didn't have it in your childhood. Start drinking this. And there is another product called um, almonds. Start having it. It's very important. It's good for memory was very good for memory. So this will it increase the IQ? No, it will increase your common sense. IQ, none of the products can increase. You can increase your memory by using almonds, but Complan will give you more energy, more nutrition. So that will help you think logically. And one more thing, vitamin B. Vitamin B, this is very important to think logically with common sense. Vitamin B. Even if you are not having Complan, Complan is mostly for kids, but do not miss vitamin B and almonds. This is the secret to prepare more and more from a certification standpoint. Okay, you need a dynamic way of provisioning VMs on compute engine. Dynamic way means automation. Anything should happen automatically. Now, if you are working in an IT firm, nowadays, at least for last 6 months, you must be seeing that in your organization, all managers, they are saying, hey, Srinivas, can we automate this? Do we have something, some asset, some this? So the answer most cases is no, you don't have any asset. Why? Because you didn't give money and uh, budget to create an asset. Okay. Uh, Srinivas will not have dreams that 6 months down the line his manager will ask for an awesome asset without spending money, without spending labor effort. So there is no asset. Okay. So don't ask questions like idiots. This is for managers. If you have not spent time, and budget. So there is nothing there. Okay. So like India, they never spent time and budget on research of AI models. So that's why today we don't have a good AI model like what uh, China has or Grok or whatever they are preparing. So we are behind in the race and we are trying to catch up. So when other people are telling, boss, this is my model, I'm releasing it to open source. So our minister is saying that guys, I'm announcing that we will create a new model. So that time he woke up and he's saying, okay, guys, let's announce. Okay, let's announce so that at least we'll feel good on the world platform. Oh my God, India is a superpower. Now they will also create an AI model. That is that feel good factor. So you need a dynamic way of provisioning VMs. The exact specifications will be in a dedicated configuration file. So see, there will be a file. The system will read that file and say, okay, this that's a configuration for setting a VM. Like what is the minimum number of instance, what is the max instance, and some other settings. So we want to follow Google's recommended practice. What say? Every cloud platform they say, boss, this is my recommended practice. Like if you go to doctors say, boss, best practice if you are above 40, start health checkup. Uh, and recently I was watching Dr. Devi Shetty's some podcast. So he was suggesting that go for constant health checkups regularly, blood test, etc., for heart, etc. Then he almost gave everything. You test for hernia, falana dhana, everything. Okay, because I became confused that will human beings spend all their time just testing each and every organ? It's so confusing, man. Okay, so if you want to understand the detailed requirement, this is a detailed requirement. Option B first we'll see. Okay, option B has a problem. They are telling I will use Cloud Composer. Cloud Composer uh, is a managed Apache Airflow. It is for workflow orchestration. Workflow orchestration means I have task one, then I will run task two. This task two will go to manager for approval. Once he or she approves, task three will be fired. This is workflow. In this question, did anybody tell you that there is a workflow requirement? Is there any approval requirement? Is there any sequencing? No. We just want to scale VMs. So this guy is totally wrong. Okay. The next thing is option C. It is saying, boss, I will use managed instance group. They are useful for managing groups of VMs. They don't directly use dedicated configuration files. So that means if you use this option will not even go and check this config file was. It will not check this. It, because it is focused on managing a group of identical VMs once they are created. Okay, they are not going to create it dynamically from the configuration file. They will manage it, but they will not create it. It's like and nowadays a lot of women you will see they are not producing their own baby. They are doing uh, test tube baby or some other mechanisms where someone else does the baby birth for them, etc. So uh, this guy is like that only. If you give them a baby, they will become mothers and fathers and they will manage the baby, but they will not create their own baby. Option D also the same problem. Option D, they are telling I will use unmanaged instance group. See, earlier they were saying they will use managed instance. Now they are telling we will use unmanaged instance. So unmanaged instance, it is not suitable for dynamic provisioning, like read the configuration file and dynamically create VMs because they are not meant to provide automation. So it does not have infrastructure as a code or dynamic provision capability. The infrastructure as a code, you know it. You write a code and automatically few VMs will be spawned. In this case, this guy doesn't have this feature at all. So uh, option A, deployment manager, this is correct because the deployment manager they have this feature. They can create babies. They don't go for surrogacy. They can create their own babies. That means they can go to the configuration file and they can read and they will create VMs. So this YAML or Python, if you know infrastructure as a code, it works that way. So you can provision different sort of VMs, and it is designed for complex deployments. So it is correct because it is a recommended tool for infrastructure as a code on Google Cloud. It aligns with your requirements. So our final answer in this case will be deployment manager because we are looking to dynamically provision VMs on compute engine, reading a configuration file. This feature only deployment manager has. Cloud Composer is for workflow automation. Manage group instance is to manage the VMs but not create the VMs. And unmanaged instance is also not having infrastructure as a code capability. So you subscribe to this channel if you want to clear certifications. Otherwise, you waste your time. There is no use. You waste your time. Uh, and is cloud certification important? Yes, it is important in all the organizations. LTI, Infotech, Accenture, TCS, Infosys. Everybody should go for certification at least two cloud platforms, multiple certifications on at least two cloud platforms. That is the way. See, why I am saying this, why people should do this, because that is multiple certifications. That means various technology like network, data, solution architect. Such certifications will help you mature to a path of becoming an architect, an enterprise architect. Okay, this is where the money lies in technology. If you become an architect or enterprise architect, you get promotion and promoted to that role because of your skills and certifications. You will be able to do this job very well. That is where money is there. People are ready to pay good money here for this role. Okay, so this part we discussed a lot of concepts. Each question has four options, and basically we are discussing at least 12 concepts in each video. 12 concepts, and this channel has 1,000 plus videos, such videos. So imagine the amount of knowledge we have on this channel. Okay, so please subscribe and become a member also. And if you want to make any donations, please feel free. Below the video there is a dollar icon. uh, you can click that dollar icon and make donations and become a cloud kernel member for a very small premium. You gain access to so many extra questions. I would not say they are extra, they are very important questions to elevate your chances by a lot to clear your certifications. So please subscribe as well as become a member. If you are less on money, become a cloud kernel member. This will have all intermediate and entry level certification content. For advanced level content, you can become a cloud ninja member. It is slightly expensive, cloud ninja member, but it is meant for advanced certification and guidance on real projects, how to attack the problems in your work life and etc. Okay, parts 5 and 6 we have uploaded in the members area. Cloud kernel and cloud ninja members can access it. So we will keep posting many more such contents. See you in the next part.